Okay, so we're gonna do a little basic knife skills class. It's gonna be going into one of the recipes we're gonna be doing for the marinara. So I wanna show you a couple of different techniques. I just have a simple carrot. I like to just square it off. Okay, once I've squared it off, I have a nice easy piece that's not gonna roll around on me. And now I just want to cut thin slivers of it. It helps to have a very sharp knife. Same thing with this piece. If you have a big carrot, it's a lot easier. And I like to just stack two pieces on top of each other. If you're not comfortable, just do one piece at a time. And then basically, always keeping your fingers behind the knife, almost letting the knife touch your fingers, because that will guide your knife. Okay? So basically, when we say Julienne, this is what we're looking for. Okay? So I'm going to do a couple more pieces. And this takes some practice. You're not going to do it this well on your first try, but this is definitely a technique that works well if you need to julienne a carrot. And a carrot is probably one of the harder things to julienne. Once you've julienned, now we can go into a dice. And a dice is really easy. I'm going to break this stack in half. And all you want to do is just line them up and work your knife, keeping your fingers out of the way. And now we have a little brunoise, which is the smallest dice there is. A large dice is about twice this size, okay? Put that in a pot. I'm gonna just go ahead and put that in this bowl because we're gonna mix a bunch of things together later. And this is something that once you get good at it will be really easy. It's really important to have a good knife when you're doing this. The sharper the better. Most people that cut themselves on a dull knife. Okay, so now we're gonna do a little dice of celery. I like to remove the ends. And just work in manageable pieces. If you work in smaller pieces, it's substantially easier. Okay, so I cut these a little bit bigger than I did the carrots, but I'm going for a larger dice here, and I'm just going to keep it a little bit bigger. And there we have a nice little dice, larger dice of celery. Now we're going to go to an onion. So it's best to just cut off the two ends. Cut the onion in half. Peel off the outer pieces of it. Okay, so you want to work from the back side forward, which is where you can see this is where it grows that way. So you want to go the opposite direction. Okay, so I've made a bunch of cuts this way. Now I want to just go across, keeping my hand flat. And And you can make these smaller or bigger depending on what size of dice you want. And then just working across it, holding the onion together. Always remembering to keep your knuckles out and your fingers tucked underneath. And if you have to, you can just go roughly right through it again. But essentially, here we have a nice dice of onions. I'm going to marry those in with my celery and carrots. Now for the last one. A little bit stranger of an ingredient, but fennel. But we treat it the same way we treat onions. Okay, we cut it in half. We work from the bottom out again. Okay. Remove the outer portion of it. And it's the same premise. And I love fennel in my marinara. Same thing was with the onion, because you have a heart, kind of a bigger heart in there, so you definitely want to get through that. And then we want to just go right back through it. And there's our fine dice. If there's a little piece of the heart still left in it, just disregard that. Essentially, we have a nice little finely diced piece of fennel. We'll marry that in with this. And so now here we have basically mirepoix for marinara sauce, or our mother tomato sauce that we call it, Luca. And you mix this up, and this will all get sweated in some extra virgin olive oil, and we'll make a little marinara sauce. But there's a basic version of how to do a Julienne, a brunoise, and a dice.